that Allah loves us. और अल्लाह ने जो अशरफुल मखलूक़ात बनाए, the superior creature in the world is the human being. And what planet God selected is the land, is the earth. And you can see how much God loves earth, how much God loves this world, this whole orbit which you are seeing today. So starting with this, I would like to say that we must work towards bringing the world like a global green village. Unfortunately, the industrialization and the run for becoming number one world power or an industrialization nation, we have forgotten, totally forgotten, what is the requirement for a human being to live. You must have seen in the cities the pollution level is very high because of the carbon dioxide. And this carbon, the way it is actually being emitted, it is not only destroying our area where we are living, but what I was reading yesterday, because I knew that I am going to attend this conference, I'm a security person, though I love the climate, I would like to play my role in climate change. I have been addressing the international forums. What I know and what I have experienced, that this is a subject where everybody has to contribute. And I think the best is free. And of course, we all talk about it. The world level, lot of initiatives come. President Obama did it, Blair did it, even George Bush did it, name anybody. But unfortunately, they remain just initiatives. One of the speakers very rightly pointed out, the environments actually affect us, our daily life. Corona is affecting our life, of course, and one of the virologists, biologists, scientists, they're all saying that corona has something to do with the temperature now. Previously, it was discarded, and I wrote a book on it, COVID-19, a coronavirus, with the history, actually how it was originated, all those claims which were made by certain world powers, they were rejected. And I'm glad to inform you that two of the virologists of the world have endorsed my view that we should be investigating, is it man-made or is it natural? If it's man-made, somebody has played with the environmental issue of the world, because it will not go in a day. It will trouble many ways. It will omit many things. It will change our life. So therefore, I have demanded in writing from the Secretary General UN to investigate this. As to this is it man-made or natural? And I've also written a letter to Bill Gates requesting him to inform me as to what kind of knowledge you had that in 1917, much before this virus, you had indicated that millions of people will die. So I would like to know your knowledge. I have been expecting you, I have been reading about you, but the world would like to know as to what was that knowledge which actually led you to do this. Though there is an act for it, there is a pact, there is an agreement. My friend Mr. Muhammad, the ambassador, is here. He knows that there is act, and of course all the countries have signed this pact in which they have to actually declare every year that what they are doing to stop this bio war. And the bio war is also a kind of intrusion into, of course, natural activities. Now look at the nature. Nature comes to existence, and everywhere you go in the world, you see trees. So nature had kept a defensive mechanism against any pollution or anything which would be hitting the environment. So when God has given us a very good lesson, teaching, and fortunately, and Alhamdulillah, we see the world getting educated, knowing a lot about nature. So you protect the nature, nature will protect you. And unfortunately, if I talk about certain countries, I do not want to talk that what we have done, what our government had done in the past, or what claims have been made. I even pointed out this question in the parliament. There were 2 billion trees in KPK. I wish they were there. But I really appreciate the intentions of the present government, Imran Khan. He's doing his best. I'm with him. Let's plant a tree, work out a weekly basis, and start our campaign that we have to protect our mother. You know, if your mother is at home, you would like her to be treated with full respect, and of course take care of her that she does not get hurt. Similarly, if you look after your earth exactly the way you look after your mother, and it's not only for Pakistan, for everybody in the world. See what is happening in the sea. The species, the sea life is affecting. The 4-kilometer deep, the layer of snow, it is melting. K2, and see all those high mountains everywhere in the world, they are melting. And of course, it is because of the temperature. And the temperature is getting higher and higher. I was hearing some specialist on it, and he was saying the temperature is going to rise almost 1.2%. And one of the scientists said maybe 2%. And my friend will agree that if this 2-degree temperature rises, see what's going to happen. But the snow is going to melt. And you have seen the scarcity of water. You have only about 87 to 88% of total water, sweet water, rest is all seawater. And with the passage of time, these sources are actually diminishing. So what you have to do to protect your water resources. And what I feel as a politician, the time is going to come, the fight is not going to be on anything else, but this is going to be a major reason of war in the world. And see what has India done to us. Despite they have an agreement with Pakistan, they have made dams on all the rivers and they have stopped their water. So what's going to happen? We are going to get dried. I like the idea of one of my friends who was saying that we should have mega dam. Fine. We as a nation, we are not agreeing to a mega dam, but at least we can make small dams. And with small dams, we can actually store. And for your kind information, according to my research, I was also the board member of the Water Board of Pakistan. And what I studied and what it was presented to me on my request, that more than 67% of rainwater actually goes to waste. It gets into sea. So why can't we make certain arrangements to get that water restored, use it for agriculture, use it for trees, use for your animals, and we can make Pakistan a better looking country. Now, by the grace of God, it is our luck that we have not been able to become one of the biggest industrial country because of our poverty and because of our economy, and therefore the pollution level is not that much as in those countries who have industrialized themselves too much. But a time is going to come. So therefore, why don't we see? But what I propose briefly, that there should be actually a unanimous resolution by the UN, like you do for money laundering, you do for many criminal sections of law. Why can't we do a law whereby every government has to plant tree on a certain part of the country? Let's say, if not 1/4, at least 1/6 of the country should be with trees, and it should be monitored by international regulators. Whether Pakistan, India, or any European country is observing this law or not. This is the way to force actually plantation, plus making the country green. And I think this should be okay. And I will write to the UN, but this my view that there should be enactment in every country, and a certain legislation must be passed from UN telling every government to please have 1/6 or 1/7 area of your country under plantation, mean bring to the forest, so that the people can get the benefit, and also nature feels a little relief. Now coming to what we are facing at the moment, the way you have seen, we have gone to a nuclear war, nuclear things are going in the negative direction, and we are not bothering what pollution and how it can harm. If you read about what's happening, जो सारे ठंडे इलाके हैं, how things are going bad there, so I think everybody will think that we should be doing something and we should be contributing on it. And I will not take much of your time, only as suggested what is to be done. The rest, my friends have spoken a lot. We have learned a lot, and we know exactly what's going on in the world and how things are happening at present. But you see, in the world, the revolutions have come through youth. And let us call it a green revolution through youth. And let this revolution of youth come from this forum which we have started. I promise you, I will fully support you, both financially and otherwise also. And let's go everywhere in the country, in every city, in every village, every office, and make them realize that for our generation it's important to have green Pakistan, a very green Pakistan, pollution-free Pakistan, for the betterment of people. You know, cigarette, nobody used to mind, keep smoking. Thank God, worldwide they are banned. We have also banned. I, as interior minister, banned even shisha. I know many criticized at that point of time. But what is important? You got to do it. It's important. So therefore, I think if you, all my young stars, if you can work out a legislation draft in which we can just find out as to what the government should do, what law, what enactment should come, and that enactment which should be helpful to our country and to become more green, more pollution-free country. As let's become number one, at least we can come. And with your efforts from our youth, and please go to every school, college, university, convince people, make a good army of convincing the people a green revolution, and we can bring green revolution. And I must mention a gentleman here, Colonel Gaddafi from Libya. I met him as the director of FIA, and what he actually stated with full force, that I want my country to be green. And later, 7 to 8 years, I did see he brought a great change. A country which used to import wheat, olive oil, and many things, started growing in their own country. Let's plant a tree. Let's bring those trees which can bring a good change in our economy. Previously, we used to say, well, there will be no grapes in our country, we cannot plant tea plants, we cannot have olive oil trees, but thankfully I've seen people growing it. Let's make it an economic activity as well, while making Pakistan green. So I would like your steering committee to meet me sometime. Let's work it out, a draft, and whoever is interested to help us to bring legislation and make the people aware of it. And let's make sure, especially through your sources and of course your time and your brains, once a month or this kind of a Zoom meeting, not only with limited people, let's have at least 100 people around, or maybe few countries, decide which country has to be there. Let's go to universities and let's go to the department concerned. I don't mean we have to be with the ministers. It's something awareness. We are just convincing people, and the people have to be convinced at every level. And convincing only needs a well documented and good arguments. And I'm sure people like you are educated, who have been ambassadors, who have been teachers, who have been professors. I'm sure they will be able to convince it. And thank you very much. I heard, and I'll definitely take your thoughts with me, and I'll remain in touch with your leadership, and whatever help, support they want from me, I promise you that will be omnipresent. Thank you very much. Pakistan Zindabad. Thank you. Any
Thank you
question?
so much.